This is a story that I guarantee many of you have never heard before. And it involves the Seattle Symphony, the great American conductor Milton Katims, and the composer Ludwig van Beethoven. At this point, you must understand two things. One, there is a long segment in this symphony where the bass violins do and have a thing to do. Two, there used to be a tavern called Dez's 400, right across the street from the Seattle Opera House, rather favored by local musicians. It had been decided that during this performance, after the bass players had played their parts in the opening of the ninth, they were to quietly lay down their instruments and leave the stage rather than sit on their stools, looking and feeling dumb for 20 minutes. Once they got backstage, someone suggested that they trot across the street and quaff a few brews. Now, after the second or third round, one of the bassists said, "Shouldn't we be getting back? It'd be awfully embarrassing if we were late." To which another, presumably the one who suggested this excursion in the first place, replied, "Oh, I anticipated we could use a little more time. So I tied a string around the last pages of the conductor's score. When he gets down to there, Milton S. going to have to slow the tempo way down while he waves the baton with one hand and fumbles with the string with the other." And so they had another round and finally returned to the opera house, a little tipsy by now. However, as they came back on stage, one look at their conductor's face told them they were in serious trouble. Katims was furious, and why not, after all? It was the bottom of the ninth, the score was tied, and the bases were loaded. I'm afraid I can't repeat what followed. It would violate the terms of service of this platform. Let us just say that Mr. Katims was highly displeased, and let his displeasure be known in no uncertain terms. The musicians, upon being released into the night air, slunk away feeling very chastised. It was years later that one of those bassists, now retired and living in a small town in the Midwest, heard a recording of that concert. He said it was one of the greatest performances of the ninth he'd ever heard, and I believe him. That's because when I was 19, I was in the audience that night, and I heard something in the way Beethoven's music was played that night that has stayed with me all these years. There are three qualities to great music making. First, superb technique. Second, a deep musical conception. And third, the ability to make the audience an emotional wreck. That evening, the Seattle Symphony, under Milton Katims, gave a performance that encompassed all three. Now, tell me if this has never happened to you. You re-sitting in your car, trying to get into a parking space that's smaller than your vehicle. Just as you're about to give up, some jerk pulls in front of you and takes the space. What do? You pull in behind him, roll down your window, and give him the finger. But then you notice that he's in the process of unloading groceries, so you reconsider. After all, he probably needs them more than you do. So you wait patiently until he finishes unloading. Then you pull in and take the space. Well, you can't win them all. What if you pull in and find out that he's waiting for his kid to come out of the store? Or maybe he's dropping off a donation for the food bank. Maybe he's helping an elderly neighbor. Maybe he's picking up dinner for an ailing friend. Yeah, but what if he's just taking a break and doesn't need the space? How are you supposed to know? Well, you can't. All you can know is how you want to react.